Katerina, please tell us about your organization, as I know it's a youth organization, and it's interesting who is your focus group here in Georgia.
Yes, we are a youth organization, and the organization was established 2017, and I'm the executive director. I'm not the founder, and we are the part of Ukrainian World Congress. So it's the big organization worldwide that work with youth organization and Ukrainian organization at all from Canada, and we are the part of Ukrainian world community here. And in Georgia, we are mainly working with youth. Now we have a lot of great young people that came to Georgia, and our community, youth community, quite active. Probably you've heard Ukrainian activists in Georgia. So that's also our colleagues. We are like one group that working together, and we have like three main focuses here in Georgia. First, and probably one of the main, we of course helping Ukrainians, refugees. Mostly we have informational support because we are not a charity organization at all, so we tried to help as a charity organization at the beginning of full escalated war, but right now it's not our main focus, so we are trying to work with this part, like what we can do. We mostly support Ukrainians with information, with sources that we can run for Ukrainians. Second, our focus, of course, we are youth, and we work on the cultural, educational, let's say, info space here in Georgia. We want to inform Georgians what Ukrainians are, what we can show them. And the last part, we are quite active in civil activism, so we work on advocating Ukraine here in Georgia. So probably you've seen some of our relays, because we quite often organize such relays or march dedicated to any day that's important to Ukrainians.
This horrible war obviously creates a lot of, let's say, opportunities for promoting Ukrainian issues worldwide. What is the main interest from Georgian side here? Because as we know, the local population support is really huge. And do you use this support in which way? And how, concretely, what you're providing them?
Well, Georgians supported massively. At the beginning, it was even hard to manage this support, because they were calling, offering anything, like we have that, we can how we can support you, how we can help you, and that was incredible. And that period lasted like 6-7 months, like that. Of course, people get exhausted. They are not able to support financial, for example, that massively. So we started to work with organization that supported by EU or USAID or any other worldwide organization, because they know that here in Georgia, Ukrainians need some special support, because in majority cases, Ukrainians that came to Georgia are from occupied territories, and they are quite different than people, for example, that came from west of Ukraine. I don't want to separate those people, but when you are trying to rescue yourself or your family through occupied territories, through Russia, crossing Russian-Georgian borders, that's quite horrible. And we started receiving like second half of 2022. Huge support from worldwide organization. We had a lot of calls from different organizations that we want to work with Ukrainian NGOs, Ukrainian CSOs that work with Ukrainian directly, because we want to help you, but we don't know who are you exactly, how to exactly support you, what is the main need for Ukrainians. That's why we had a lot of opportunities, and still we are running a lot of projects, and our organization increased massively, like few times.
Do you have the projects including women's rights, and what's the main problems there? Maybe you can tell us stories of these women.
Well, we just recently, like a few weeks ago, closed one part of the project that was absolutely dedicated to women and kids, and we were running this project as a part of, like, let's say, another projects that was provided by our donors. We are part of community and, like, let's say, movement of organizations that are running by women. That's why that's quite important focus for us, because like 70% Ukrainian refugees are women with kids. And we had a really great project that was like half psychological, half cultural. We created like music classes for Ukrainian women and kids and incorporated a psychological component there to support them. And it was quite important for me to have such a project, and this was quite interesting to observe how this group communicate, how they live here. And we realized that we are quite stressed out. They are quite frustrated. We had quite tough moments that we had to manage, because they feel not like lost at here, but really quite frustrated, because some of them has like husband or brother or father, or like on the front line or somewhere like lost it, or they don't have information for a while. And that's quite tough to hear such stories, and to support those people, because, for example, you have projects that need to inspire people to bring them some strength to be in this situation. And one they came and tell you the story that still there is no information about my husband, and I don't know, he was in Mariupol and he got injury, and we still are waiting where, in which list we can find his name. So that's quite frustrating. And I've heard a lot of stories like that. For example, 20-age-old girl were trying to get out from Kherson alone through Crimea, and how scary it was for her. So it's quite difficult it was really difficult for me, and I wasn't ready properly how to communicate with those people. Now I already have some kind of trainings, how to communicate, how to support those people, what should I say or what shouldn't I say for them. But that's, of course, quite terrible stories, quite tough stories, and I realized that I need to be that strength for those people, because when they are sharing this information, this story with me, I don't have a right to be weak with them, because they are quite heroes to get rescued from the occupied territory. I have no idea how to do that.
Can you share with us these techniques, how to speak with these people? Because sometimes when you're trying to help or to support, you're harming those really vulnerable groups.
Well, we had really great training, and our donors provided us with this education, and we just need to know a few main rules. There are a lot of like techniques, etc. When you work with those people, you need to feel them and to figure out what is their state right now. If they are like yelling, screaming, they are quite aggressive, that's okay. because they in that situation you have no idea how you would act in that situation, and you just need to release this pain. They just need to release this pain because it's quite abnormal for people be in that situation. When they are frozen, that even harder, because you need to somehow get them out from this frozen situation. But the main focus, you shouldn't show them they are weak because they are in that situation, because they are without money, without any property to live or whatever. They are quite heroes because they've acted like that to get to the Georgia, for example, to the safe place. And they've made huge, tremendous work to be safe right now. And that's why when you're talking to them from that perspective, you are showing them, you're giving that strength. And if you are telling that you are not alone, if you need me, just contact me, tell me, or even text me. I'm not sure that I will have this information or that kind of support to you, but I will definitely answer you. And for them, it's quite important to have someone that they could talk to.
You mentioned kids.
Yeah.
Do you have children from the situation when they were kidnapped or were trying to kidnap by Russians or something like this?
Well, that's quite tough to work with kids. We are not that professional, so we are trying not to go to the place we are not experienced, and we haven't had such a situation because there should work professionals. But we had some projects that include kids, and we were observing their games, how they communicate. Well, they sometimes play some war games. They draw in something like that, and that was quite fun for us to see how they left that game and started to draw some like flowers or sun or something like that, because we had this group of kids that were working through music, through psychology, and that's quite fun how they relieve their emotions through some musical instrument.
And as for their lives here in Georgia, what the way out for them? What is the spaces or places when they can realize themselves, and do they found these places already?
Well, there are a lot of. It's really good that there are a lot of kids group for some kind of activities, and probably every organization has such activities for kids or for teenagers, and that's really cool because they could have some fun, some entertainment with kids the same age, because we had such a story probably when mother told that we were looking for something for my son, and when we found your classes, because he's quite interested in music and he was looking for some activities related to music, because he has like music classes with teacher, but it's not the same. And she told like it was like a blessing for us because it's the same kids that could play and like entertain, and that's really cool that there are a lot of activities for kids right now. That's really cool.
And what about the women?
Well, that's also focus of some organization that support Ukrainian NGO here, especially our organization. We are trying to include women, like it's like our first priority, because it's clear that in majority cases, like 70% as adult women are here as refugees, and in some cases it's just some activities for adults, but we need just to have in our mind this statistics. So there are a lot of activities also for adults, but you need to understand that people here, there's different situation because adults are trying to get money, that are trying to provide their kids with everything, and in this situation sometimes they are forgetting about themselves, and we are trying to remind them that the health and psychological health of your kid is your health as well. So you need to get out, you need to be active as much as you can. But yeah, that's a problem because those people that came to Georgia, they were living such a life in Ukraine as well. They were trying to provide their kids with everything, and sometimes forgetting about themselves. So that's quite.
And what about you? How the war has changed your lifestyle, your perception, everything?
That changed everything. That's definitely changed everything. And sometimes I'm thinking about that stuff, and I see that I've changed my way of thoughts, because something was important like a few years ago, and it's not important that much. I started to work harder, and my work day is a little bit longer than it was usually. But I received a lot of great moments, and that's really weird to tell that I've got much more opportunities to develop myself, to grow as a person. And yeah, that's really weird to tell that. But probably I found more direct focus what I want to do, where I want to be. I found a lot of great people. My bubble, let's say, grew up really in a great way, and it's really, really huge. And I'm surrounded by awesome people. And when I will tell 3 a.m. that I want to do that, or let me do that, they are definitely will answer me, because we are on the same way, we are in the same boat. And that's really cool. I found that part of myself here in Georgia and during the war period.
It seems that all Ukraine mobilized itself,
yes.
and
yes.
becoming better and better during this very critical moment.
Well, I'm not defining I became better or worse. For someone, maybe I'm the worst person in the world, who knows. The situation requires more sources from you, and you're trying to get from yourself to execute harder such a process you're working at. And sometimes you're wondering why you managed to do that, because I wasn't sure that 2 years ago, tell me that I will be at that moment and telling you about that, and realizing what have I done, I was I would be what? No, that's not me, that's another person. But that's the truth of our life. We are not able to realize what we can do till the moment we are in that situation.
Thank you, and good luck to you.
Thank you.